It starts with a wizard. He's old and he's wise, and though he is small, there is strength in his size. The Goliath from the west, he's not smart, but he's strong. The Flagon Slayers, this is their song. Now the warlock, he's lost all the memories he had, 'cause to deal with a demon went seemingly bad. And the druid on his quest to save the shadow plane. When you hear tortured souls, you'll remember his name. They're the Flagon Slayers, and this is their song. They're the Flagon Slayers, the adventure goes on. The cleric, she heals in the light of the moon. She wants to find purpose, it'll come someday soon. Then the rogue draws his sword, metals clashing again. When it comes to a duel, he will always win. They're the Flagon Slayers, they drink and they fight. They're the Flagon Slayers, by day or by night. They're the Flagon Slayers, and this is their song. They're the Flagon Slayers, the adventure goes on.
Yay, it's fixed now.
There we go.
Audio levels are also good too. Also, everybody, I know this is like super janky looking, like you can see our Discord thing and like you can see like the green lights and everything. Well, Caleb's not here, so I'm in charge of the stream and I say what goes. So we're gonna have the flashy green lights and it's gonna be in a black void. I'm bringing a high energy here. Hi, Abby.
Hey, Jacob.
Okay, so
Just pretend we haven't been talking for 30 minutes.
exactly. So, everyone's like, why the heck are we here? Well, because we're doing a special little one shot here where we are going to kind of show you guys what Thea has been up to while the rest of the group has been partying around with her new best friend Genevieve and fighting beholders. So, just to recap for people who may not remember, because Thea left at this point I
It's
think
been
like
months.
3 months ago in real life, and in the game it's been
Yeah.
roughly a month or so. Um,
Yeah.
so
Honestly, I feel like in game it's only been like 2 weeks.
yeah, in game it's been well, okay, so like we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Okay.
But so in case anybody forgot, so after multiple traumatic events happened that were either outside Thea's control or she was just a bystander to them, she ultimately decided that the party was not beneficial for her and was not did not value her. Abby, feel free to correct me if need be.
No, that's about right. And
Yeah,
it's just lots of decision making without consulting her and not feeling like she was an important
yeah,
member of the group except
yeah,
to Anzu.
yeah. So Thea laid out her frustrations and decided to leave the group. Doing so, some of them were confused, some of them were angry, but and some of them were sad, like Anzu. But after Thea left the group, she found a familiar face in a dive bar near Iman, where Rupert, the half-orc vampire, former member of the Flagon Slayers, and a warlock of contracts, was holed up. After the two exchanged a pleasant conversation, they began traveling with each other. So, we will be picking up. It's been about 2 days since Thea has left the guild,
Okay.
and the two of you are currently on your way to um, Kaimal um,
To see his family,
to
right?
see his family. So it's just you and Rupert and some horses.
I was gonna say, are we traveling just like on a trail?
Yeah, just
Taking our sweet time. I've got a lot of time now.
Rupert's not fancy, he has the money for it. He doesn't have teleportation magic. What are you gonna
But you said
do?
he did.
He does. Okay. So he does, sort of.
But he
There's
doesn't want to use it. He wants, sure.
maybe that's what it is. So it's been about 2 days. You guys are probably. Let me get my map. Let's see if you guys were leaving Amon, and it's been about 2 days. Yeah. So Kaimal is in between Western and Amon. So if you guys traveled, on horseback, you could probably make it there in like 3-ish, 4-ish days.
Okay.
Probably you'll get there the night of the third day.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, the two of you are riding. You see that Rupert, he he doesn't seem to be affected by the sun like how you would think most vampires are. Um, and I mean, like, while you guys have been traveling together, he hasn't eaten anybody, I guess is the best way to put it. He's been subsisting on animals and um, things of that nature. And then you also
Mm.
see that he's got a few. Um, he's got supplies on him that may or may not be blood of some creature.
Little like Capri Suns full of
Yeah, just
blood.
be like, you always got to squeeze the juice out of them. But yeah, the two of you are on the road. It's around, I would say, probably 4. Um,
Okay.
and yeah, he's kind
The,
of quiet.
the
Um,
urge to talk in a British accent immediately like overcame me, and I was like, wait, I just use my regular voice.
Wait, Thea is not. Yeah.
It's like switch
Also,
it.
guys, real quick, this might be a little disjointed because it's literally just me and Abby and I get off on tangents a lot when we talk, just the two of us. I don't know what to tell
I
you.
I can't focus.
It's hard.
It's fine.
Focusing is hard.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
So 2 days we've been traveling already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm gonna look over at him. Are we riding on like the same horse or two
No,
different
two
ones?
different
Oh,
horses. Rupert
okay.
is not that fast. He's like 2 horses.
He doesn't move that fast.
No.
Um, so how often do you have to like eat?
Consume blood? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah,
Well, I
it's a
mean,
little
it
curious.
depends. After the bout that we had a few days ago, I had to consume quite a lot. But for the most part, what you need in water per day, I would need in blood.
Interesting. Is
And
it different if you're using animals versus
well,
people?
I'm in a unique situation um, because of my patron. Um, he is allowing certain allowances when it comes to my diet. Um, I can sustain myself on animals, unlike most vampires can. Um,
Interesting.
yes, it's interesting in a very macabre sort of way.
Like people who pretend they don't find that interesting and they don't want to know are just liars.
Perhaps I find that most people are set in their ways, and they would prefer to look at you as a monster or as a hero, and nothing in between.
Yeah. A lot of people have a very black and white view of things.
Hmm. He keeps people safe. Being able to quickly identify who's friend and who's foe is a way that humanity stays alive, but it can lead to problems, as your friends have proven.
Hmm.
So,
I just
Thea, I don't mean to be prying or anything. I just want to know, what is your plan for, I don't have much of one after I go see my family. And I know you are very capable of taking care of yourself. Um, so I did not know if you wanted to part ways or if you would prefer that I travel with you longer. I'm looking for work as is.
Well, I didn't think too far ahead. Foresight isn't one of my greatest skills. Um, but I was planning to go home to Singborn
Mm.
after this.
To see your father and all the small ones and
Yes.
all of that. Hmm.
I
Well, I don't want to invite myself, so I will leave that up to you. If you wish me to come, I will. I have a few tricks that would keep me from, excuse me,
discovered.
being discovered in a certain way. But
I mean, you certainly flew under our noses.
well, I don't mean to be rude, but it was actually quite easy, and I was very sloppy. I don't know how
I
no one.
mean, we had a whole interaction
Hmm.
where you were covered in blood and it flew right over my head. So you
Yeah,
can
I
call me
did not.
stupid.
I
You can call me
no.
dumb.
We in our line of work, we run into a lot of things that make us bloody. So perhaps that was what,
I just
you know.
yeah. I've had a lot going on recently.
I understand.
This wasn't the first thing that came to my mind, but
Hmm. Well, good to know. I can walk around soaked in blood, and no one will think I'm a vampire. They'll just
I
probably think
mean,
I'm some crazy half orc.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
slightly more likely.
Yes. Once again, people's
Like,
perceptions.
but we can play it by ear.
That
See,
works for me. You see, he flicks the reins, and his horse begins to speed up a little.
I'll do the same.
Make an
I will.
animal handling check for
I will
me.
not be left behind. Ooh, not bad. 22.
A 22. So, he gets a little in front of you, and then you see his horse is kind of like going off the path and kind of just, he's having hard trouble controlling it. You do not have a problem at all. You were trained multiple years on how to ride on horseback, um, and you pass him, and he just looks at you with, and then he corrects the horse and follows behind you.
Yeah, I'll just like give him like a little smirk as I like look behind at him.
Carry on, you know the way.
So, how long have you been away from your family?
Well, he looks up at the sky. Um, the sun has set, and you see the two moons beginning to rise on the horizon. Hmm, Judging by position and uh, time of year, um, a few months. I was undercover while I was in the guild, so I wasn't able to come and visit as often as I would like.
For some reason, I assumed it was longer.
Hmm. I Shortly before I joined the guild, I dropped off a payment and told my family that I was going to be gone for some time. But yeah, it's been a few months.
And then, how long have you been a vampire?
Oh well, about 2 years, give or take a few. It kind of flows all together. I don't really need to sleep, so um, I don't know. Days kind of run through each other, and
Hmm, I understand. When you live as long as us, I suppose.
hmm.
And you don't have to sleep as much.
Well,
Time means much less.
barring a rogue stake to the heart or a rogue sword to the head, I should actually outlive you, even. Not that I'm bragging or anything.
Sounds a little bit like
This
you're
is kind of an
bragging.
odd conversation, is it? I'm going to change the subject. Um, so why are you returning home to Singorn? I thought you hated that place.
Well, I figure if the world's possibly going to end soon, maybe I should try to make amends with my father. And I certainly wouldn't want to
Does he deserve it?
die. I don't know, but
Hmm.
he's all I have left. So
Well, I don't think that's entirely true, is it? You have all the members of the guild. They seem, well, some
you
of
still
them,
have,
some of them seem to care.
I'd say maybe two,
Hmm. Two's more than what I have.
but I think at the time when I left Singorn, I was I was a bit of a brat,
Hmm.
and I'm not going to pretend I wasn't.
I could never imagine that. Never.
And I think it's when you're younger, it's hard to understand that your parents are just people
Hmm.
and
And
they're
by
doing the
younger, you mean like when you're like 75.
Yeah, I think I was about 53.
Oh, well,
Um,
excuse me.
listen, that's like terrible twos for
Mm,
an elf.
mm,
Um,
I see.
I just it's hard to understand that your parents are just doing the best that they can, and they're people who don't know what they're doing and are gonna make mistakes. And then when people that are close to you die, and it's hard to know how to react. And when people, I think I've grown a lot,
Mm,
and I'd like to talk to my father like an adult and see what I can get from that kind of conversation, because he was going through a lot and then I dumped myself on him. Not that I didn't have to. I did have to, but I think I expected all this love and affection immediately, and he didn't know me.
mm.
And so I dropped a lot on him at once. And I mean, if that was if something like that happened to me, I don't know how I would react.
Hmm.
I'm sure there's a distance there.
Well, in my experience, family is something that is chosen, not necessarily what is inherent. My parents were terrible, just the worst. My father was part of a raiding party that came in and, do what raiding parties do. And then my mother didn't care if I lived or died. So, um, she sold me for whatever she could get me for. And then for years I was raised in fighting arenas, basically. I had killed a man by the time I was 15, but I there was a man who he came to the arena. He challenged the owner and said that if he could beat the owner's strongest warrior, that he would have me. Little did he know that I was the strongest warrior.
And did he beat you?
He did, handily. I mean, just the worst beating I've ever had in my life. He took me in though, him and his wife and their at the time newborn daughter, and it was peaceful for some time. He taught me what it was like to work normally, not have to entertain or kill for anything. And he died. He
I'm
died.
sorry to hear that.
It's okay. And then it was on me to take care of the family that had welcomed me and treated me like their son. I'm not proud of everything that I did, um, and I don't think I live up to his example very often. But they have food and a home, and they go to school, and that's because of me, and because of him, and because of my mother as well. So, also, they don't know anything about the whole thing. Um,
I wasn't gonna bring it up.
yeah, I would
Fig-
prefer that we don't.
Figured I'd
Um,
keep my inquiries to about right now, and then
yeah, I think that's fair. I'll answer any
get it out of the way.
questions, that you need to know. But yeah, the whole it's not.
I'm sure
Um,
it's a little would be a tad devastating.
well, I mean, technically I'm not dead, so
That's always a plus.
yeah, or so they say.
Yeah, but I think you should be proud of yourself for that. Doing what you can.
I have a lot to atone for before I can be proud.
Well, there's always you have all the time.
We think that, don't we? All right. Well, we should probably find a place to stay for the evening. Um, there's a small town a few miles from here if you're fine with going for a little bit longer.
That's fine.
Very well. And he goes to flick the reins, and he thinks for a second. He's like, "Perhaps you should go first. Make an animal handling check."
Watch this one be ass.
This was terrible.
Oh man.
I rolled bad again. Rupert's not good at.
Oh, 21. I rolled one below.
Rupert not good with animals. Maybe because he's a vampire and they're gonna around
They're
him.
probably a little scared of him.
Yeah, they're like, huh. Yeah, you lead the way. You hear Rupert having trouble behind you.
I'll
Um,
just try to explain to him how horses work while he's like
I I understand the biology of a horse. It's just when you look at a horse, they know things, and it just.
don't give it a reason not to trust you.
Well, I'm
You
sorry.
have to calm yourself so they will be
So you're
calm.
saying I have to have inner peace in order to
Little
ride a
bit.
horse?
Practice your meditating while you're up there.
Ugh. You guys travel for about another hour. You eventually make it to this small little town um, with an inn. Uh, you two put your horses in the barn or the stable next to it and go inside. Um, Pretty quiet. It seems like no one really comes through here. I need you to make a perception check for me.
Oh, my favorite. Okay, not great, but it's still good because of Thia. 21.
Okay. Um, you see very few people. Um, it seems like the people who are in here are just like, the local lumberjack and like the police chief and like just it's very small town atmosphere. Um, you do notice a older elven man with like you know how like when elves get really old, like their ears are insanely long and they've got like white hair coming out of the ears and like
Mm-hmm.
bald and like yeah, they look kind of creepy because they're so old.
Yeah.
One of those dudes, just
Awesome.
sitting off in the corner, and he notices you two come in, and he watches you for a little bit.
I'll watch him back.
He notices that you're looking at him. He just goes back. He goes back down to his drink and takes a sip. Rupert goes up to the barmaid. Excuse me, could we possibly get two rooms for the evening, just for the night? Yes, that'll be 2 silver. He says, "Oh, that's a very generous price." And he hands over 2 silver. Well, I know I, for one, am quite exhausted after that long ride and need to catch some Z's.
Oh yeah, you've been
That's what people say, right? I've kind of forgotten. It's been so long.
doing great.
Awesome. Okay. Um, but I am going straight to bed.
Mm-hmm. Well, you get some shut eye. See you in the morning.
See you in the morning. He goes up to the room.
I
Goes to
might
the room.
like stay downstairs and have a drink for a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead and knock off a copper piece. It's not
Oh
highfalutin.
no. I only have 983 copper now.
Oh no. The DMs regret giving them too much money.
Listen, I don't have as much as everybody else right
That
now,
is very true.
but I know we saved some for Thea. So, oh god.
You
Sorry, I'm
see
trying to organize my spells.
the older elven man, um, he gets up and you see him kind of wobbling a little. He walks over to you. Excuse me. Um, you look familiar. Have we met before?
Can I make a history check?
Yeah, go ahead.
1 second, sorry. I put all my cards in my own way. God, I'm an idiot. Okay. Oh, it is not good.
Okay.
It's a 9.
Uh, you know, hard to place. Can't really place this guy.
Um, I'm not sure. Where would I know you from?
Did were you perhaps um
It's the
it
man from the Underdark.
slipped my mind? No. No, it is not.
Okay.
You've never seen this man before in your life.
Uh, I mean, I go a lot of places.
Hmm.
Possible you've seen me around, but
Hmm.
I can't say for sure.
Well, at least let me buy you a drink.
I mean, I won't argue.
He sits down next to you. Hmm. You know, I used to travel a lot through this bar, going back and forth between Kaimal and Iman. I was a traveling merchant that sold exquisite, rare gemstones and the metals and uh, things of that nature.
Mm, why'd you
You
stop?
seem like an amethyst kind of woman, am I correct?
Is it the purple?
That's purple. That's that's purple. Oh no, it's just the general
Hmm,
aura.
I see.
Oh well, you stop doing things when it gets harder to move, and when
This
you're a
makes
man
sense.
of my age, it gets harder and harder.
Based on elven years, can I like guesstimate how old would he be? Like,
Probably like 900, like real old.
I
Like
think I was like, he's got to be at least 800 years
yeah, like if he was in modern day, he would have been contemporaries with like people in uh medieval like the medieval era in our world. Like
old.
he's
Yeah,
that
he
old.
saw the Black Plague for sure.
Yeah, he like lived through that. Yeah.
And is selling gemstones all you ever did?
Well, when you get to be my age, you live a lot of lives. I I was a traveling circus performer for some time. I would throw knives.
Oh,
Yeah, and then
can you still throw knives?
oh, you don't want me to. No. No, 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 no. This is my throwing hand. Um,
Can I insight check him just to
yeah, go ahead.
vibes? I got to make sure. Okay. I just want to make sure he's not like secretly gonna kill me.
Secret murder.
24.
It is kind of strange that a random inn in a random area in between Iman and Kaimal would have a elf this old that came up and talked to you. It's kind of odd. Um,
Hmm.
it's out of the ordinary, that's for sure.
So what are you doing here now?
Well, my granddaughter lives in Iman, and I'm on my way to visit her.
What's her name?
Oh, her name is Gabrielle.
I know a Gabrielle.
No, no, you
Okay.
do not.
Hmm. Interesting.
She's a student at the Albalaster Lucium.
The Alabaster Lyceum?
That's the one.
Hmm. Heard
Yeah.
better things about the Cobalt Conservatory up in Western.
You
I know
know,
one of the
never heard of
professors.
it. Nope, never. Nope, that's a place.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay.
Someone who's traveled a lot. I
Well,
don't know a lot of places.
when you get this old, you forget more than you remember.
Hmm.
But hmm,
I want to not trust this
he
man
just takes
now.
a sip of his drink. Also, Mr. Mooman, thanks for the resub for 10 months.
Hey, Luke. um, think. Can I cast Charm Person on him?
Sure. Go ahead.
I think it's a saving throw for
It
you.
is. What is your spell save DC?
Oh, it's like 18, I think. 18.
He saves.
Well, that's rude. I
Uh,
wish he wouldn't do that.
could he not though? um, you kind of slyly try to do this. Uh, did I say something that um perhaps came off wrong?
No, but when you're a lady on your own,
Mm,
gotta be careful.
mm. Well, I didn't. Did you come? I didn't see you come in alone. I saw you with that tall, dark, and handsome fella.
And he's asleep.
Oh, oh, okay, yeah, okay. Well, um, I've got an early start in the morning, so I think I must bid you adieu. Um,
Safe travels to Amon.
hmm, thank you, and safe travels to wherever it is you're going. Oh,
Hmm.
wait. And he pulls out from his sleeve, he pulls out a small card. I don't really do much of the gemstone trading anymore, but I do have a store in Singorn. So if you're ever around, you can come in and perhaps buy some nice gemstones or some jewelry of some sort. Um, and we also have magical items there too. Um, my great great nephew likes to dabble, so
Oh, well, maybe I'll catch you there soon.
maybe you will. And he hops off. And he slowly makes his way up the stairs.
What does the card say?
It says Navarne's knickknacks.
Jacob. No.
Didn't think I would do it. Didn't think I would establish a character in a one shot that no one else is gonna see. Ooh.
Caleb's gonna lose his shit. I knew something was fishy about that man.
He's just a kindly old man who's almost like 900 something years old.
And is a traveler and doesn't know where Western is? I don't think
He
so.
knows where Western is. He just doesn't know what the Cobalt Conservatory is.
I thought he was talking about Western.
Oh no, he was talking about the Cobalt Conservatory.
Oh.
Oh.
Interesting. Whenever I hear does Thea do I know that name Navarne? Has Animus mentioned it?
Make a history check. I'll say you have advantage because I mean this would have been recent.
Okay. Natural 20
Natural
or
20.
25.
Oh yeah, the name rings a bell. Yeah, for sure.
Shit.
Daisy's itchy.
Daisy. I can see that.
Hi, baby girl. Hello. Okay.
So I know in theory that man is in danger.
In theory, yes.
All right. Well, is there like anybody else in here, or is it was
Just
it
a few
just me and him?
locals. Just a few locals.
Okay.
No one really. You see a few guys playing dominoes. Seems like this is kind of an old village, and that if there are any young people here, um, they've moved away or gone somewhere else for work or some sort of kind of like a
Okay.
dying village, you know.
Okay. Well, see, I don't have to sleep as long, so I might just keep hanging out for like a minute and maybe like pull out my tarot cards and like, do some divining, not like much, but just,
hmm Just
just
kind of
some
messing
readings for
around.
myself,
Yeah,
messing with them,
yeah.
and then eventually I'll go to bed.
All right. So, for the sake of levity, we'll say that you had a nice night's sleep, that you and Rupert had breakfast, which Rupert ate, um, and two of you are back on the road. Um, make a survival check for me.
Oh, it's not good.
Okay.
It is an 11.
An 11. Okay. So the two of you are on the road. Um, And while you're going, these two men on horses, they pass you guys going pretty quick, like full gallop. Um, Rupert, that's kind of peculiar, isn't it?
Interesting.
Hmm. Eh, if anyone on the right side of the law comes through, we can tell them, but none of our business.
Suppose the nosy part of me wants to follow, I won't lie.
Hmm. Well, as much as I appreciate the nosy part, um, some things are best left untouched.
Fair enough.
Those look like some pretty rough customers.
You think I can't handle it?
Oh no, I think that if you did anything to them, they would most certainly die. Um,
That's what I like to hear. Thank you.
very, very welcome. I need you to roll another survival check for me.
This one better be better. It was the same thing.
Up ahead, you can hear the sounds of spells being fired, and you hear like a carriage that is like rolling at fast speed, coming towards you guys. Um, and as you guys crest over this hill, you can see kind of in the bottom, the two riders from before are now trying to abduct this coach, um, or this carriage. You can see that one of there were two men sitting up front. One of them has the reins, and the other one is firing like fire bolts and magic missiles and things of that nature. But
Okay.
you see him, arrow flies and hits him between the eyes, and his body slumps off onto the ground and gets rolled under the carriage as it hits it. Well, now it appears it is our problem. Okay, what do you want to
So
do?
then, let's go.
All right.
I will trot down or gallop.
I don't mean to be chauvinistic here, but I actually think it'd be better if let me handle this one. I don't want you. If this goes bad, I don't want them knowing who you are.
All right, but I will be back here for backup.
Okay. So you see him, you see Rupert ride up, and he actually like he gets his horse off the side of the road and ties it up, and you see him very nonchalant. He's just kind of stretching and kind of getting in the way, and then you see him get out into the center of the road, and you can see the vegetation near him begins to wither and die as the moisture itself is being pulled out of even the air around him. And you can see this kind of dark aura begin to envelop Rupert's body. Um, you see the carriage, one of its wheels snaps as it, and then you see the carriage actually rolls as the stagecoach operator, he flies out, and you see him get just crumpled up in the mess of wood and metal. The two men preoccupied with their now successful their successful heist don't seem to notice Rupert as the carriage rolls, and you see him hold his hand out, and it stops directly as he catches it. And they both immediately look over, and you can see terror on their faces. Make a perception check for me to see if you can hear what's going on.
Okay. 22.
22. Yeah, you have very keen elven senses. The two men, one of them says, "Hey, this here's our score. If you got a problem with it, just move on, and we won't hurt you." And Rupert says, "Well, how stupid can you be? You just saw me catch this with my bare hand.
He said a whole carriage.
Just the whole thing, and you think that you can threaten me by saying that if you blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm going to give you. Am I being generous today? I'm going to give you 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And if you're not over the horizon in 10 seconds, I'm going to rip your arms off." And they both look at him, kind of like, is this guy for real? You see one of them, he kind of starts steering his horse back the other way, and the older of the two, we aren't going anywhere.
Been 10 seconds.
It appears that you can't count either. And then in a flash, both of the older guy's arms are just off as you see blood just squirting. Oh, and you see Rupert kind of throwing them up, tossing them from hand to hand. I gave you 15 seconds and you still didn't leave. And the man he's dead. He lost way too much blood. He's off his horse. He's dead. And you see the younger guy, and Rupert says, "Now, if you tell anyone of this, I will find you in the middle of the night, come into your room, and you won't be rid of me for hours. And when you give off the last breath of life, I will look down on you, counting 1, 2, 3, 4." And then you see this guy turn his horse and just get out of there as fast as he can. He looks over to you. "I know you can hear me. Come on over."
No, trot down.
Sorry you had to see that. And you see him like wiping blood off of his. He's using prestidigitation to just get the blood off of him as he flicks it and disappears.
I'd be more horrified if they weren't bad people.
Yeah, I suppose. But death is death. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go take this into the woods so people don't see it. I guess see it is a good word.
Yeah.
Then he
You
takes
gonna
it
have
on.
a snack?
Yes.
Have fun.
Perhaps. Breakfast was terrible.
Mm. As in human food?
Well, I can eat it. He drags the now armless body off into the woods. Um, the carriage is pretty totaled, um, but you hear like a small banging sound from the inside.
I will investigate.
Okay. So you open what's left of the door, and you see two things that catch your eye. One, you see a small gnome who's kind of badly injured, with like compound fractures and kind of just blood, and they're still alive, but barely. And then you see a sort of an older human woman who, she is not as badly damaged, a few scrapes and bruises, but she seems to be no worse for wear. Um,
Were
as
they
you,
just like in the
yeah,
carriage?
they were inside.
Okay.
Yeah, as you open the door. Oh, thank goodness you're here. Please, please, please help us.
I'll cast Cure Wounds at. Wait, do I have Mass Cure Wounds? I mean, I can, I guess. I'm literally figuring out my spells right now. I'll say I have Mass Cure Wounds and
Okay.
all.
So, with the flourish of your magic, you hear bones popping back into place and things being repaired as the scrapes are removed from this woman's face. Um, uh, the two of them climb out. She carries the gnome in her arms. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
They just attack you all?
yes. Well, you see, my companion here, who um, I was unfortunately unable to protect. They are still unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
We are we are members of a certain organization, um, and we have made enemies with many, many people. Um, and we're on our way to Amman for a meeting.
What organization?
Oh, uh, mm,
I've just healed you. Can't you
I
do me the courtesy of answering a question?
I can give you the courtesy of saying that we are part of an organization that is trying to better society, and that we um, are not at liberty to discuss everything.
Insight check her.
Okay.
I think it's just a 14. Yeah.
Um, I mean, she's obviously hiding something.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't quite tell what. Um, but by by process of elimination, she seems to be a powerful magic user of some sort. Um, her companion, who knows?
What meeting are you heading to in Amman?
Uh, there have been reports of a group that is trying to wreak havoc on the world, and we have been called to um, perhaps develop a strategy to combat these people. And it
Speaking
appears
of the
that
five,
some of them. Yes. Who are you?
who are you?
Well, thank you so much for your help. Um, but we must be going on.
Perhaps I'll see you in Amman soon.
Perhaps. You see, she goes over to a rather large tree. You see she puts her hand on it, and then it splits open to a magical portal, and the two of them walk through. Rupert comes back. You see him kind of wiping his mouth off, just making sure everything, adjusting his clothing, everything's back to normal.
You missed
Well,
a spot.
thanks. Um, well, is there anything inside?
There are two people.
Hmm.
Wouldn't tell me what group they were a part of, but the woman mentioned she was part of a group going to Amman to discuss a strategy to defeat the Five. And well, she didn't say the Five. I brought it up.
What a
And then
novel idea.
crazy. Um, and then when I asked her about it specifically, she asked me who I was, and then left when I wouldn't tell her.
So they got a little bit touchy, did they?
Yes, she wouldn't tell me what group she was a part of, even even though I had information
Well,
that I would think would put me on equal footing.
hmm. Most
So,
of these rich types don't really see anyone that's not rich as equal footing.
not wrong there.
And although you do come from some money,
Not originally.
you don't look quite like you do. Not to be any sort of offense. I'm sorry if that was.
Grew up in the
Sometimes I say
woods.
things and I think that they sound good in my brain, and then I say them and they don't come off as
Mm-hmm.
clever as I'm
Keep talking for
rambling.
sure.
Um, well, we could always see if we could maybe find information in the carriage.
This is true.
Make an investigation check with advantage because Rupert is helping you.
Yeah, because I'm so bad at investigation. That's one thing I don't miss. He is a little dumb. 17.
17. Um, you guys look around for a little bit and you find a note that must have fallen out of one of their pockets. Um, and it is written in this very strange, like cipher almost. Like there's symbols from multiple different languages that have been kind of interwoven, and like there's symbols from Draconic that have been mixed with Dwarven. Like you can see the origins, but you don't know what the new word means.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Can you read this?
No, 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 no. But I do have some friends who might. Hmm. This is interesting. I've never seen a cipher of this origin.
Mm.
Whoever these people are, they definitely want to keep their secrets secret.
Well, I could have told you that immediately.
Uh, he flips over the letter, and you see that there's a wax seal that like has been split open, and
Mm-hmm.
he puts it back together. Hmm. Doesn't this look familiar? And he holds up
What?
the sigil. Um, this is a symbol that you have seen once before. Um, and it was a few weeks, maybe a month or two ago at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But you saw it in that weird abandoned keep that was outside of Mon. Um, you see a V and an M that are like interwoven together. Hmm, odd. Do you, from the look on your face, it appears that you know this symbol.
Do I know the name of the group?
I don't think so. I think you just know the symbol.
Well, there was one day we stumbled upon an abandoned keep outside of Amman, and that symbol was everywhere in the
Hmm.
and there were so many little magical traps and wait, I have that little eyeglass thing,
Mhm.
the jeweler's loop. Can I pull it out and look through it at the note?
Yeah.
Does it do anything at all?
No.
If I look through it, do I like see anything? Like I forgot what it does exactly. What is it? Like I can see shit. I see things. I can't remember what the jeweler's loop does.
Let me see if it's my DMG is way over there. We'll say for the purposes of this is heavily magically protected.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't know what it says.
Okay.
And there's no like
Um,
hidden messages or anything. There's no like ink or anything that's invisible or anything like that.
okay. I'm like, I know I wrote it down, so I'm gonna find it when I can. Interesting. But we should keep this.
Well, do you think we should go back to Amon and warn the others of this?
I can always send them a message.
Okay, well, shall
The
we
wound is
continue?
still too fresh.
Shall we continue on then?
Yes.
All right. So you guys spend the rest of the day on the road, and you eventually make it to Kaimal. Um, Rupert leads you through the city. Um, it's not quite on the level of Amon or Whitestone when it comes to size or technological advancement. Um, but it's a nice place. I mean,
Hmm.
it's not the capital of the country, you know.
Right. I can't remember. We haven't been here before.
No.
Okay. Because we started in Drina, so
Yeah,
couldn't remember how close
way
they
on the
were
other
to
side of
each
the
other.
continent.
Okay.
Um, but Rupert leads you through the city and then out into the farmland that surrounds it. Um, you eventually get to this small homestead, um, and you see sitting on the porch of the building, or I guess like I don't know what the fancy anyway. Sitting on the outside, um,
The outside.
at the outside, um, you see a young kind of probably teenage halfling male who is just kind of whittling at just a stick, seeming to get it into a point. Um, kind of kind of a rough and tumble kid, you know, like
Hmm.
very much a farm kid. Um, Standing about 3 feet tall.
Hmm.
Um, he looks up and he sees the two of you, and he runs in. Mom, Rupert's home. And he's like, oh no. Uh, okay, what you're about to see has no reflection on me and is it's just a halfling thing. It's
Don't try to
how
be cool.
I am very cool, thank you. Um,
Mm.
he gets off of the horse, and you see this entire halfling family, which is two boys and two girls. One's an older halfling woman, one's halfling woman probably around 17 or 18, and then you see two boys, one from earlier, and then the youngest who it's hard to gauge halfling ages, but probably around 9 or 10.
Hmm.
And they all come over and they just start hugging him, and like you see his little brothers like get on both of his arms, and he starts to like lift them up. Um, and then the older halfling woman sees you as you're getting off of your horse and putting it up. Oh, hello. Um, are you friends with Rupert?
Yes.
Oh,
Uh,
well, it's a pleasure to meet you, dear. I'm Marguerite.
nice to meet you. I'm Thea.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure. We don't normally have elves in the house.
Thank
Um, please come in. It's cold, please.
you.
She brings everybody in, and then you see his two brothers are just like, "Hey, Rupert, do you remember the time when you did that?" And they're just going back and forth, and you're like, and Rupert's like, "Yes, it was very, very cool of you to do that, but you should honestly listen to your mother more," and just stuff like it's just going back and forth, back and forth.
Hmm.
You see Marguerite is preparing a dinner that the family was about to have anyway, and now she's got two more bowls out for the two of you. And then you see the oldest is not as or is not as welcoming to Rupert as the others, and you see she's kind of like, it seems as though she's studying him a little.
Can I insight check her a little bit, see if she
Make
notices
an
something off?
insight check.
23.
23. She is uncomfortable. Um, you would think that, her brother's back and all of that would make her, um, there'd be a little bit more excitement, but she's keeping her distance
Is
for
there
some
anything
reason.
about her that would indicate like that she's like a cleric of some sort, or that like she would be able to detect undead
Make
in any way?
an Arcana check.
My arcana is so sad. Okay, I rolled good though. 18.
Hey, you're rolling really well.
Yeah, for the most part. This
Thea
one die is
rolls
so good.
Thea rolls a lot better than Genevieve. I'm just saying it.
We don't have to talk about it.
um, you don't see any like magical symbols that she has on or anything like that, and you don't really see any within the house. Um, she's just, maybe it's just an intuition thing. She's just kind of keeping her distance. Marguerite comes in holding multiple bowls of some sort of stew. All
Stew.
right, everyone, please just sit down. Everyone, yes, it's very nice that your brother is back. He's great, yes, but please sit down and have some manners. We have a guest. And,
Oh, don't put on a show for me by any means.
oh, my boys just get very excited. That's all it is.
Understandable. I
And
have little siblings.
oh, well, that's lovely, dear. She sits down and she sits at the head of the table, and you can see on the other side a chair that is left vacant, like purposely left vacant.
Mm,
The boys sit down, flanking Rupert, and then the sister, she sits down next to her mom, and then you're seated next to her. Um,
okay.
uh, well, Rupert, how did you meet such a lovely young woman? And you see Rupert immediately like gets blushed, like just blushes. Well, mother, I have joined a guild in Amon, and Thea is a very respected member of that guild. One of the founders, actually. And Marguerite, oh, I didn't know we had someone so important in our house.
I'm gonna look a little uncomfortable, but appreciative.
Uh, well, I should probably introduce the rest of the family. So this is Lyra. She's my oldest.
Nice
Um,
to meet you.
and you see Lyra, she's kind of shifted her attention from Rupert to you, and she's also like kind of like absorbing you and trying to like figure you out, and like there's this prickliness to her.
Okay.
She seems distrusting, I guess, is a key word here. And she, hi, it's nice to meet you.
Hi.
Uh, and then that little rabble rouser over there, that's Hammond. And you see Hammond is like sharpening a stick. Hammond, I said no sticks at the table. But Mom, she says, don't but Mom me. Go put it outside. And you see him go stab the stick into the ground, and then it falls over, and he's like, dang it. And then he comes back into the room. And then on the other side of Rupert is Edric. He's my youngest. And you see Edric is like trying to eat. He's like got the bowl and he's about to eat, and then he puts it back down. He says, hi, um, I'm very hungry." And and then Marguerite, "Everyone eat. I know you're." And you see them all start to dig in. The boys a little bit more ferocious than perhaps they should be. Um, but you also see Rupert is not eating. Um, and Lyra 100% clocks that.
I'm gonna look at him and give him like an eyebrow and be like, as I take a bite.
Uh, 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 he starts eating. Um,
Does she notice that interaction?
let's see. No, you were
Okay.
sly enough. I also rolled a 4. Um, but you guys have dinner, and afterwards you're sitting around the table, just you, Marguerite, and Rupert, as the boys are being put to bed by their sister. Um, she she looks over to you. Well, Thea, it's very nice to have you here, and thank you for taking care of my boy.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We were starting to get worried. It had been months since we heard from him, but I see what was keeping him busy. And you see Rupert's cheeks again go red, and he's just like, "Yes, mother, it was a very important. I I was very busy. Um,
He's been working hard.
y-
He's brought in more money and done more quests than anyone else in our guild.
well, that's my Rupert. He's always been one for putting forth the extra effort. So, what brings you here, dear? I know why Rupert's here, but why have you decided to accompany him? Do you guys have a mission or some sort of quest? Oh, that's so exciting! Some sort of quest out here?
I'm on my way home to see my family.
Oh, well, that's very nice. It's always good to go see family, right, Rupert? And he says, Yes, it is very good to yes. I'm sorry, mother. I should have written you earlier. I am so sorry." And you see him kind of shrink a little bit. You can see this like kind of suave, cool guy is very much controlled more in the family, and kind of is a more meek sort of personality when it comes to his mom.
Mm.
We don't have a lot of space here, um, but you can always stay in Rupert's room. I hope that's not awkward. But you can always stay there. And remember, there are children in the house. Um,
Oh, don't worry about that.
and if you need anything, just let me know.
Yeah,
Um, and you can stay here as long as you like,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
of course. And you see she gets up and to take the used dishes to the kitchen.
And thank
And
you for dinner, by the way.
oh, it was nothing, dear. I always make too much anyway. Um, and Rupert is just kind of sitting there, and you see him like the facade that he's built up is like kind of washing away, and you see this more timid, kind of more um, reserved sort of personality, and he does seem more at ease though. Like he has now seen that his family is okay and that everything is okay, so he's kind of more relaxed.
I'm gonna give him some side eye for a second.
If you have something to say, then you should most likely say it before the others come back. And remember, the walls are very thin here.
Hmm, just funny. You're very different around them.
Well, I'm sure you're very different around your family as well.
A lot bitchier, for
Mm.
sure.
He takes a sip of his drink. Well, playing it by ear, how long do you think you'll be here?
How long do you want to be here?
Well, I was talking to Mother, and there's a few things that need to be done around the farmstead, and um, Hammond is having some issues in his schooling. Um, so I was going to stay around for a few weeks at least. Um, you could always go without me, Thea. I can take care of myself.
Hmm. I definitely can't stay that long, but
Well, there is another option if you were somehow able to help. around here and help with the work that I need to get done, then we could most likely be out of here in a week or two. More leaning towards a week.
I mean, I could do that.
Okay, well, um, as my mother said, there's not a lot of space in the house, so we will have to share a room.
No, no.
I'll let you have the bed. Um, like I said,
Makes the most sense.
I don't really need
I just think
accommodations
it's
like that.
funny that she thinks we're an item.
Yes, it is very funny. It's very funny. Ha 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 ha. Thea, when I sent you that note and pulled what I believe is one of my best schemes ever, um, I meant what I said. I find you interesting, and I believe you find me interesting. Um, I'm not proposing any sort of relationship here other than a friendship. Uh, and I will leave it up to you if you want to go any further than that. Um,
One of your greatest schemes.
it it was quite good. I'm quite proud of myself. I believe he got what he deserved. Mm. And perhaps it will educate them on reading contracts a bit more thoroughly next time.
Well, I mean, everything worked out for me, so.
Well, as I said, uh, I will be here if you need me, and if you want me to accompany you to Singorn, I will. Um, but if not, then I will be here for the foreseeable future. I believe I need to take a break. The family
Understandable.
is a little restless, but I'm sure my mother would be fine knowing that I have found someone that she believes uh, is a significant other. Um,
We'll see if she's right.
we'll see, we'll see. But we're going to have to get up early in the morning. Farm life. I don't know how familiar you are with it, but it'll go rather quick. Especially if the family's busy, I can get a lot more done a lot quicker. Um, but
Yeah.
thank you for coming here and seeing this. I
Yes.
know that the others believe that I am some sort of scoundrel monster who manipulated them, but the Flagon Slayers were the only other place that I ever felt like home. It's here and it's there. And if
Wow.
they'll have me back someday, I will be more than grateful.
Wow. I imagine one day it'll fall to me. So if nothing else by then.
I'll just have to wait a few hundred years. What is that? Well,
Nothing for us.
I'm going to go inspect the property and see all the issues. Um, don't feel like you need to wait up or anything. I know that today was kind of a long journey. Um, but yeah, I'll see you. You
Let me
see
know
him
if you need anything.
finish his drink and he gets up and you see he takes his cloak off and hangs it up on this coat rack. And you can see down his arms are just scars from countless um, battles, just all up and down his arms. You can see that there's a few like on his neck, and he's wearing like a vest sort of thing underneath, like a sleeveless sort of vest. You can see scars running up and down his neck, and then there's like bald spots that you didn't quite notice. There's like bald spots dotted around his head that also are scarred. Um, he goes out into the night.
I'm gonna go to Rupert's room.
Ooh, okay. Um,
I want to snoop.
Snoopin. Uh, so you go up into Rupert's room. Um, it's very minimal um in decor. You see a desk with a lamp, like a hooded lamp on it, or an oil lamp. Um, some parchment and an old quill. Um, you see just a normal mattress on a wooden bed frame. um, a small closet that's kind of off to the side. Nothing super descriptive. You do see a chest,
Mm.
like a foot locker sort of thing at the foot of the bed. Um,
Is it locked?
it is.
Can I pick the lock?
You certainly can try. Make a sleight of hand check.
Okay, not bad. Um, 19.
19. So this is a very normal lock. So you click it open, it opens up. Inside, there's a few documents of different property and things like that. Um, you also see a small um, picture of Rupert and then Marguerite, but she's at least almost 20 years younger in the picture. And then you also see this halfling man who he might be short in stature, but he's not short in personality. He's smiling. You see him smiling ear to ear in the picture as he's laughing and holding his then only about a year old daughter in his hands, and they're all clumped together for this nice little family portrait. Um, you see,
Mm.
this is a very worn picture. Um, Creases and time have
Yeah.
aged it and discolored it slightly.
Well, I'll
Um,
put it back. I don't want to
you
snoop too much.
um, you hear the door open, and Marguerite sees you. Oh, hello, dear.
Mhm.
Are you finding everything okay?
I was just looking for a blanket.
Oh, here, let me take care of that. So she opens the closet and she gets a step stool out and gets up and she pulls a blanket down. We had to make this room more proportion to Rupert's sizes. So we have little step ladders everywhere.
Mm.
Um, and then she sees the picture that you have placed back. I didn't know that he kept that.
From
That
what he's
was
told me,
that
he
was a
really cared
few.
for him.
It was a few days after he came here. Um, my husband, um, he he saw something in Rupert. Um, I was a little apprehensive to tell you the truth. We had just had our daughter, and money was kind of tight, and Duke was never one to pick a fight. So when he told me that he was going to the arena to challenge their greatest fighter, um I thought he was dead.
Mm.
But he returned with a young boy who had bruises all over him and welts, and one of his eyes was swollen shut. And um, Duke said that uh, he was our new son, and it's one of the greatest things that he ever did. Um, I know that Rupert
Wonderful.
misses him a lot, just like all of us do. But he he lives on. He lives on. But I don't want to bog you down with all of that, dear. Is there anything you need?
Nope, just the blanket is all I was looking for. I appreciate the help.
Of course, of course. Well, have a good night. And breakfast is at 5.
Oh.
So, I know it might be a little early for you. Um, but we're a farming family, so we get up early and we stay up late.
See. I'll learn to adjust for a few
I'm sure you
days.
will. Good night, dear. And she shuts the door behind her. Yeah, that's a lot, huh? Uh, so just a question for you. Do you
Hmm.
want to role play the entire week or no?
I
Okay.
mean, we can
We can
like
do a
hit the
few bits
highlights.
and pieces. We'll do a few bits
Hmm.
and pieces.
Yeah,
But we still got to get to single too.
yeah. Can I take a 2-second bathroom break.
Yes, I will vamp.
Heard. I'll be so fast.
Hello, everybody. I don't know who's watching. Oh, that's been Mr. Mooman. That's been a ship for a really long time. If you guys have any questions about the campaign, while we're waiting on Abby to get back, I can answer them. I can see chat right now, so yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I also realize there's a slight delay, so yeah, feel free to just comment whenever you want. Abby will be back shortly. Oh no, I flipped a coin and it. Oh no, I'm not flipping it right. No. Well, that's gone. It's gone forever. Also, Caleb, feel free when you're editing this to put it on the YouTubes to edit this part out. Yeah, sometimes I talk to Caleb as if he's I talk to him in the future. Oh, Abby's back. Okay, here we go. And that's who the big bad is. You're still muted.
I realized. I know you're a liar, Jacob.
No, I wouldn't tell it to Mr. Mooman. Okay, so nothing really eventful happens that night. You begrudgingly get up at 5, mainly because Hammond and Edric are just so loud. But you begrudgingly get up and make your way into the kitchen for breakfast. Very nice, some sausage, some eggs, and then a small halfling beer. Yeah, they're a beer drinking family.
In the morning.
Yeah. But you and
Brady
Rupert,
move.
yeah, you and Rupert spend the day kind of surveying the property and like fixing the fence if it's down. Nothing super intensive. But what you do notice is that this is a large plot of land, like very, very large.
Yeah.
Probably about the size of, it's probably like 70 acres.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And you also see that like there's farm hands that the family's hired, and like things are run even when Rupert's not there. There's just certain things that like that need to be done while Rupert's here, sort of thing. It's not because he's here that they need to be done, but because he's here, he should do them, sort of thing.
Yeah.
The boys go off to school, as does Lyra, and then Marguerite just kind of stays at home and makes sure everything's okay. When you guys get far enough away, you see Rupert actually use like um, you guys have a donkey with a wagon attached to it with a bunch of the extra fencing material, and when you guys are far enough away, he unharnesses it from the donkey and begins to just carry it on his back.
For sure.
Well, Bartholomew is quite old, so he shouldn't have to carry this when I can.
Of course, you know.
You see Bartholomew just. You see one of the eyes is like got a cataract in it, and the other one is like just crusty, and he's just an old donkey.
Give him a little pat.
He
Good old
nuzzles into you.
Bartholomew. I love him.
Do you guys spend the better part of the day fixing the fencing around the property? You get back around sundown.
While we're out there, I do want to like ask him some questions.
Oh, feel free. Yeah.
So what's the deal with your sister?
Oh well, I don't know. You know, she's at that age where she doesn't really trust anyone. Um, I don't know. She seems fine to me. Why did you pick up something?
I can just tell she can tell something's wrong with you. Or off. Different.
If she has a problem, then she can come to me and say it. I'm not going to force the issue if she's not ready to talk.
Mm. Okay. Just thought it was odd, but I tend to be kind of sensitive to those things.
Hmm. Well, um, Thea, not everyone around you is trying to hide things. I know that the people that you associate with are often um, hiding things behind very precarious walls, but no, my sister's most likely just. She might even be mad at me because I forgot to bring her something, or who knows. But thank you for letting me know your concern.
Do I feel like he's being oblivious or like dismissive or like
It's
is should
probably
I
it's more of a dismissive sort of like this is my family, I know what's going on, sort of thing. Like it's nice of you
okay.
to be concerned, but like ultimately it's my family, sort of thing.
Okay. You're
Um,
just being so weird. But I guess that's teenagers.
would you hand me one of the nails, please? And he fixes the fencing. Um, Thea, um, did you go through my chest last night?
I was looking for a blanket.
I'm sure you were. Um, well, if you want to see what's in my room or get to know me or snoop through my personal belongings, feel free. I have nothing to hide from you. Um, everything I hid from you was already revealed, so um,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
I'm just used to people being withholding.
Well, that's fine. I don't blame you. Um, I think that if I had gone through your situation, I also would be a little apprehensive. But
Forget it's a little disrespectful.
it's fine. The two of you finish fixing the fence in record time, since Rupert is, um, vampire and can move at super fast speeds and do all this fun stuff. You guys get back around sunset, mainly because Rupert was done about 3 hours ago, but he didn't want people to know. Um, uh, you guys have dinner. Everything seems normal. Um, Lyra is still a little apprehensive, but she's kind of warming up more.
Mm. She like still giving Rupert like
She's still like,
sizing him up.
yeah, but not. She's like talking to him and everything. Like,
Mm.
uh, we'll go ahead and skip ahead a few days. Um, you guys have uh, done some selling of livestock and buying of livestock up in Kaimal.
I'm
Um,
learning how to be a farmer.
Learn and farm. Uh, but a few days pass. Everything seems normal.
D&D Stardew Valley Simulator.
Yeah. We'll say around the fifth day,
Hmm.
a big storm rolls through, and you guys are all kind of confined to the house. Um, make a wisdom saving throw.
Is this a charm effect of any kind?
No.
Okay. Please be good. Oh, thank God. I thought that was a 1. That was not a 1. I almost had a heart attack. 11 or no, 17. It was a 7.
Um, so you you feel this like presence that's um trying to gaze in on you
Like a scry.
like a scry, yeah.
Interesting. I'm like, I don't see like the orb or anything, do I?
No.
Like the and I like don't like that. I don't like it. I'm like, what can I do right now?
Well, right now you can either allow it or you can disallow it. You
Oh,
rolled
I
high
can.
enough that you can choose to
Oh,
not let them see.
oh yeah. Then I don't. Well, do I get like a sinister? Can I get vibes from it at all? Like
Make an insight check.
vibe check. Like, does it feel like it's like one of the group or like an enemy? Ah, it's a 17 again.
Um, it does not seem hostile.
Okay. Who can I know? Zygon can cast Scry. You know what? No, I'm gonna shut it down.
Okay. You feel it fade away. Rupert, is there something you need to tell me?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Are we in like a group of people?
Yeah, it's the whole family.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Well, all right. Hammond, do you have any sixes? No. Go fish. I know you have sixes, Lion.
Me being a little liar.
The day goes on. A small leak appears in the roof, and Rupert fixes that while the storm continues. The night comes. You guys have a nice meal, and it's really starting to feel homey. Um, this is probably the most family interaction you've had in a very long time,
Honestly, probably ever.
or ever. Um, but I mean, it just feels nice. Rupert and you go to bed. You get the bed, he gets the floor. Um, so do you want to tell me what that was earlier?
I mean, you don't have to sit on the floor. You know this, right?
Yes, but eh, eh.
Anyway, I think someone was trying to scry on me.
Hmm.
Didn't seem hostile, but
Well, maybe they're
considering I
starting
made
to
a,
miss you.
I mean, considering I made a big point to run away, I figured I'd just shut it down.
Hmm. Well, I appreciate that. I think some of them are probably going to be mad at me, and I would rather they not know where my family is,
Mm-hmm.
or who they
Figured
are.
yeah,
Um, but
not
if you
sure who
want
it was.
to contact them, it seems as though they want to contact you. Um, I don't want you to feel like because of me or for some reason you can't. Um, and I want you to know that ultimately it's your decision, of course.
I mean, I made a choice to leave. The only one I'd want to reach out to is Anzu. Maybe
Fair enough.
Lochnar.
I don't know if Lochnar would. He'd probably think it was like you speaking to him, and he would think you're dead or some sort of like. I don't know. He's not
Yeah,
the he's
he's
not the
never been on
sharpest
the
axe.
receiving end of it, so you're probably right.
Oh.
Best to leave him be.
Plus, he's training with some sort of crazy drunk turtles. So,
I think it'll be good for him.
I mean, not a lot could be bad for Lochnar, really.
If someone as passionate about drinking as he is, could be nice to learn how to do
Channel it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, how to
Well,
use it to his advantage.
turtles are known for the ability to pack it away. All right. Well, I believe it's time for bed. And he covers the top of the lamp And he blows it out, darken the room. You hear him walk over, and the floorboards creak, and he just sits down.
That not get uncomfortable?
I mean, most vampires sleep in coffins anyway, so it's essentially the same thing. Plus, the whole sleeping thing is more of a it's more used after we face extreme combat, so I mainly just
I know.
lay here with my thoughts.
Well, there's plenty of room up here if you want. I usually don't lay down, so.
Mm. I think I'm okay for now, thank you.
Mm.
The night goes, you get some nice meditation in. When you wake up, Rupert is not there. Um,
Is it the normal 5 a.m.?
Normal 5 a.m. Um, you see the kids go off to school as Marguerite comes over to Rupert, and you see the two of them have a conversation as she looks like she's packed for some reason. Um,
Can I hear any of it?
Make a perception check. Thea in her ears.
Not today. It's a natural one.
No, it's real early in the morning. But you see one of the farmhands comes up and he has a small wagon behind one of the horses, and he helps Marguerite get into it as she goes off. And Rupert notices you and he comes over. Did you hear that too?
Not this time.
Hmm.
It's real
Okay,
early.
good to know. Well, Mother needs to go finalize a deal with one of the larger cattle farms near Western. So she's going to be gone for a few days. She should be back when we're about to leave, so shouldn't be much of an issue.
Okay. So are you going to cook dinner now?
Oh, gods, no. No, 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 no. I'm going to order from one of the inns nearby and bring it home.
Hmm.
The boys really enjoy um, the inn's food, and they have a great mac and cheese.
Ooh.
The boys love the mac and cheese. I don't understand it.
Well, let me pitch in for one of those nights. Your
No,
mom's
no,
been
no.
too
You're a
nice.
guest. You're a guest. My mother would skin me alive if she thought that you paid for anything. Hmm. Well, we have a lot of work to do today. Um,
It's
so,
on the docket today.
well, we've got to repair the barn. The storm almost demolished it, so that's going to take some time. And then the general cattle roundup, seeing if any of them got um, blown away by the storm. Um, but other than that, nothing much. Really, if you want, you can go into town and explore and do whatever you want there if you'd like. I don't need you necessarily today.
Hmm.
Not saying that you're not needed, but uh, how to say this? I can do the work without you, but if you want to help me, you can.
Gonna laugh. Um, um, I mean, is there anything to do in town?
Oh, no. It's Kaimal is an old mining town, so unless you know how to swing a pickaxe or swing a fist, there's not a lot going on. I know that there's a traveling bard group that should be in town now, but I don't have a lot of time for bards. I find them frivolous. Um,
Hmm. You and Lochnar would get along on that front.
yes. Um, but I don't know. Someone of your acumen might be able to find something interesting.
Maybe I will. Just to see.
Suit yourself.
If I get bored, I'll come back.
Fine by me. So you go into Kaimal. Like Rupert said, it's a very it's an old mining town that has probably seen better days, but because of its location between Western and Amman, still sees a lot of traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of there's a lot of inns and restaurants and places that it's more of a tourist, like think Branson, kinda. Like
Ew.
we're in Missouri, baby. We know what Branson is.
Oh, Branson's rough. You go more than one
For
time.
our possible international fans or fans who don't live in Missouri, Branson is like Nashville, but not as much money.
And way worse.
Yes. um, but it's very tourist trap. Um, what do you want to do? Is there
Interesting.
any place you'd be interested in seeing, or
Mm. Trying to think what would I do in Branson.
go see
Do
a
they have
show?
a Titanic museum?
They do not have a Titanic museum, unfortunately.
Um, or like
Do they have
Madame
a
Tussauds?
place? Do they have a place where you can eat a chicken with your bare hands and rip it apart with your bare hands? Yes, yes, they do.
Interesting. Do they have any like magic shops or anything?
Make an investigation check.
Natural 20 for a 21.
Okay, so you ask around, and a lot of people are like, "What? No, why would no?" But you eventually find this. You hear this jangling of what you
Love a
assume is
jangling.
like bottles and other knickknacks, and you see rolling a large cart is this probably 7 foot tall automaton that's kind of just rolling a cart, and you see sitting on the back of the automaton in like this nice little chair with like a roof over the front so that it shades the person is this kind of older gnome with shock like acid green hair, green eyebrows. You see he's probably around like 270 something. Like he's
About
around
Anzu.
Anzu's age, yeah.
Okay.
Um, and you hear him say, "No, Rufus, it goes this way, then that way, then this way, not that way, then this way, then that way." And you see Rufus kind of slows, and then he and then takes it the other direction. What do you want to do?
I'll try to get his attention. Be like, "Excuse me."
What? Oh, a customer! Rufus down! And he smacks the shoulder of the automaton, and Rufus puts the chair down, and you see a sigil that's carved into one of the arms as this gnome hits the sigil, and it folds out into like this like little little stand that he stands behind. Uh, well, you seem like someone who has an eye for magic. And as he says magic, you see little sparks shoot from his fingers.
It's a neat little trick.
I know a lot of neat little tricks. What are you looking for?
What do you have?
Well, I've got gadgets, gizmos, and
Plenty.
potions. Yes, quite a plenty. Uh,
um,
you also see on the top it says RDX traveling magical shop.
what kind of potions do you have?
Well, the young lady likes a potion. And then you see
Handy.
him he hits Rufus the automaton. I added an
I
extra
can't say that
syllable.
word.
Automaton. He hits Rufus, and you see Rufus delicately moves this potions rack over in front of him. Uh well, I've got healing, fire breathing, water breathing. dragon scales, giant strength, invisibility, and then he holds up the invisibility, and it is an empty vial. Um, uh, and my personal creation, Artie's artillery.
And what does that do?
You shoot fireballs out of your mouth. That's what it do.
Oh,
It's murder on the teeth though.
yeah, okay.
You
I
gotta
don't
get
have a
like
dentist
fillings.
yet back home, so I might have to pass. Um,
Fair enough. Not everyone is powerful enough to wield Artie's artillery.
it's a little more explosive for my taste. But it sounds extremely cool. Do not get me wrong.
Oh, it is very young lady. I know it's extremely cool. But what can I get you?
Do you have anything in the way of like a potion of haste or anything?
Rufus. You see Rufus holds out its arm and it pulls down a list and it begins going through the list and it looks down.
Rip.
Sorry, young lady, I don't think we have that one in stock, but I can
Mm.
get it in stock.
How long would it take?
Oh, probably about 6 months.
I don't have that kind of time, unfortunately.
If only we had a potion of haste.
If only. Maybe you should work on it. I'm sure someone will come asking again.
Well, there's not a lot of demand for it. You've got to be someone that's like fighting all sorts of monsters if you're wanting something like that, or have a lot of chores around the house, or wanting to study for an exam.
Mm.
Sounds like a lot of people would want this. I should stock these more.
Mm.
Hmm. Eh. Anything
Just an
else?
idea. What kind of gadgets and gizmos do you have? Or are those two
Ooh.
separate things?
Gadgets and gizmos are two very different things. Why would there be two different words if they weren't two different things?
I don't. I've never made a gadget or a gizmo, so
Well, which one do you want to see? Gadgets or gizmos first?
I'm very curious about what a gizmo is.
Rufus, the gizmos! And you see Rufus opens his chest cavity and he pulls out 5 little things and he puts them in front of the table, on the table, and then closes the chest cavity. All right. Are you ready for Artie's gizmos?
Maybe.
This one, and he holds up, it is just a clock. Um, he holds it up. This one tells time on an arcane level. Not
Okay.
interested. Next. And then Rufus puts it back in the chest cavity. This one lets you breathe underwater as long as you're
Scuba mask.
very close to the water. Yes. And he demonstrates it by putting it on, and he goes, "Oh, works like a charm." Also not interested. Rips it off. Rufus grabs it as it flies, shoves it in the chest cavity. All right, all right. I think you'll really like this one. A young woman such as yourself, always needing something like this. He holds it out, and it is a compact. And he presses the button, and he's like, "Oh, you can see yourself while applying your
I've
makeups."
never heard of such a thing.
I know. Artie comes up with the best ideas.
Just so I know, what else do we have?
He snaps it shut, throws it away. Also not interested. Good to know. All right. There's only 2 more left on the table. You see one that looks like a compass, and you see the needle is just constantly rotating the entire time.
Is it broken?
uh, this compass takes you to the closest dragon. Ooh.
Really?
Really? Right now, there's no dragons around, so it doesn't really work. But when there's a dragon nearby, you can also, so say there's a dragon that's like a real strong beastie, and like you fight it, and then it flies away, but you're wanting to still fight it, and it leaves a little piece of itself, or maybe even some blood or something. If you see on the back, there's a little receptacle, and if you put that in there, the compass will attune to the dragon.
At this point, have I gotten that message from Anzu about Richter?
No, that was while you were in Singorn. So
Okay.
that's at least a few days away.
Okay. I didn't want to metagame it. Um, potentially interested. What is this other thing?
Oh, well, potentially interested, Rufus. That means we've almost got her. Okay. Well, this last item. Ooh, and you see him like sending out sparks from his hands and just being very theatrical. This last item. He holds it up, and you see it's this small glass tube that is literally about like the length of this pen, and it's
Is
just a
it like
glass.
a
It's just a glass tube, like
oh,
hole, nothing in between, glass tube.
little finger trap? um,
No.
does this do anything?
What doesn't it do? Yes, it does something. Um, so say I want to contact my niece who lives in Vasselheim, right? So I get a little piece of paper and I write the message on the piece of paper, and then I shove it in the tube, and you see him shove it in the tube, and then I he lights a match and then burn it, and then you see the smoke coming out from the side that the piece of paper in. It doesn't. There's no smoke coming out that way, and then you see the smoke coming out from the other side is like multiple colors, as it's kind of like it's like when light goes through a prism, and it's like rainbowy, and it kind of comes out, and then you see it float off.
Oh,
It's a one way, so that kind of sucks. But if you got two tubes, tube,
but you only have one tube.
I have one tube.
I mean, it'd save me a few spell slots, that's for sure.
Hmm. Are you a practicer of the arcane?
Not quite the arcane.
Okay, then never mind.
I'll put a little sacred flame in my hand.
Hmm. Sorry, I don't do business with clerics. I just. And he starts packing it up.
Uh-uh. How much for the compass and the tube?
Rufus? And Rufus, you see, pulls out his other arm and he begins looking. And then he shows Artie. That will be 5 gold pieces.
Drive a hard bargain. Fine. I'll slide over 5 gold.
I told you, Rufus, the gizmos would get somebody. I told you. Well, it's
Well,
a pleasure doing business with you, cleric. I don't need to know your name. You know mine. Have a nice day.
you as well.
And you see Rufus puts him back on top as the cart continues to roll along.
5 gold pieces. Was he pulling my chain?
No. He was
Okay.
worth around 5 gold.
Okay. I wasn't sure they were even gonna work at all. I was
Oh, no,
like,
they work.
okay.
They work. They work. I wouldn't sell you illegally or faulty
Didn't get to hear
stuff.
about the gadgets.
It's true you didn't get to hear about the gadgets. He doesn't do business with clerics, though.
Why?
I don't know. Artie's weird.
No way.
I don't know if you caught that, but yeah, Artie's
Yeah.
kind of a weird guy.
When's that traveling bard train in town?
Rupert was mistaken. It has already left.
Well, that sucks. So does it seem like there's anything else like special going on? Like
Not
anyone like
really, no.
okay. Then I'll wander back.
Okay. You get back around 3. The kids are getting back from school. Rupert is gone to go get the food. The kids kind of go off on their own. You see the boys are play fighting, and you see that Lyra is reading.
She read it.
Make an investigation check.
Not a perception?
Eh.
I'm just trying to read.
I'm just trying to read.
The
Do
title.
you
Oh.
perceive reading or do you investigate reading? I don't know.
Well, it makes a big difference.
It does make a big difference.
It's a +1 or a +15.
I will say a perception check.
Thank you. It is a 22.
So you roll a 7?
Yes, I did.
Wow. Okay.
Would have been an 8.
Wow. Okay. She is reading a book on the cosmology of the pantheon of Taldore, like the history and things like that.
Is she just like on the couch or something?
Yeah, she's just chilling on the porch, watching the boys,
Mm.
making sure they don't kill each other, you know.
Do you have interest in the gods?
Oh, well, not not really, but I don't know, I like reading.
Hmm,
So whatever I can get my hands on, I like to read.
okay. I was gonna say if you have any questions, I might be able to answer some, but
Um, no, not right now. Um,
okay.
I've just been reading about the calamity and like how all that happened. Um, it's just so crazy to think that something like that could happen and then we're here now and it's just so it makes you seem so small, you know.
Yeah. When you start to realize the bigger forces at work, makes you feel quite insignificant, but we all have our purpose.
Mm, I guess so.
we we have a greater impact than we realize.
She gets back to reading. Rupert comes back carrying way too much food. Just way too much. And you see the boys just like their eyes are just so big. It's like they've like seen the face of God. It's just and you see that Rupert well boys, I know how much you enjoy the mac and cheese. So don't tell mother, but I got you both this. And he pulls out a tub that's like the size of like a KFC bucket, and it's just mac and cheese. And he gives one to Hammond, and then he gives one to Edric.
I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna be like, really? Like,
Yes, really. Yes. They'll eat it, go to sleep, and then they'll be too lethargic tomorrow since they don't have school, and they won't be crazy.
fair enough. Continue.
You guys have a nice meal. The boys get maybe a fifth through their tubs before they have to tap out. Um,
Leftovers.
you see, as Hammond and Edric both kind of stop, um, you see Rupert. Well, boys, I thought that you'd be able to eat much more than that. And Hammond's like, well, it's this tub is almost as big as me. And Edric said, it's bigger than me. Rupert says, well, that's no excuse, boys. Plus, who's gonna eat this? And then you see him reveal from a box a chocolate cake. And you see both of the boys are just and they start crying. Then Lyra is just honestly, Rupert, like they don't what are you doing? And Rupert's I'm just having a little bit of fun, sister. I don't know the boys obviously can't eat this. And then you see both of the boys just leap up and they just start shoving the cake in their mouth.
Oh my god.
I might have miscalculated their stomachs. Well,
It's amazing what willpower will do.
boys, if you vomit, make sure you vomit outside, please. You know the rule of the house. Yeah, we know. And then they just keep going.
Oh,
The days move pretty quick. As you guys wait for Marguerite to return. And about 2 days later, she does. It's been you guys have been here for 8 days. Um, but the chores are done and everything seems fine. And now that Marguerite's back, um, you see early in the morning, Rupert's getting your horse ready. Um, well, Thea, if you would like, I can accompany you. Um, but I thought I would get your horse ready for you just in case. Um, My mother says that things are fine here now and that I can be gone for as long as I need. Um, but she's very generous, so I would like to only be gone for maybe 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Um, but if that's only if you want me to accompany you.
I mean, I'd like you to, but do you want to?
I think I would. I've
All
never been
right.
to Singorn anyway. It'll be interesting to see the Kingdom of the Elves.
Quite. It is something.
Well, I'll inform the family, and I should be ready within the hour.
All
So
right.
he lets them know what he's doing, and make a perception check.
20, dirty 20.
Okay. So you roll a 5. I can't believe that Thea's perception is so high.
It's that
Holy cow.
expertise.
Yeah. Um, so you hear Rupert say, "Mother, she's asked me to accompany her um, to Singorn, and then I will stay there for no more than a week." And you hear Marguerite say, "Well, son, if you want to stay longer, I would 100% understand. She's a lovely girl." And he says, "Mother, can we have this conversation later?" Well, Rupert, all I'm saying is that it would be a good. We need someone to help take care of the household, and she's great. And Lyra doesn't want to stay here. She wants to go to college, and the boys are a little too much for me to handle if your sister wasn't here. And Rupert says, Mother, I understand. I will only be gone for a few weeks, and Thea and I are not a couple. We are friends from work." She says, "Oh, well, that's how it starts. Your father and I, we both worked at the mine." And he says, "Yes, Mom, I have heard the stories." I have to get going. He leans down and she kisses him on the forehead, and the two of them hug, and then he gets ready. All right, are you ready to go?
Just a moment. And I'll walk over to Marguerite.
Hmm.
I just wanted to say, um, thank you for your hospitality. I really appreciate it.
Oh dear, it's nothing. It's nothing. Do you know how many girls Rupert's brought home? You. It, I was worried that the boy was like he was scared or something. I don't know. Like I don't want him to think that I don't want him. I don't care who he brings home. I just want him to have someone, you know.
Think he's just a little uptight, but
Well, he's
I'll
always been that way.
I'll try to do something about that. Loosen
No,
him
you
up a little
try.
bit.
It's taken me years to get him where he is now. Well,
You
dear,
did a great job.
I hope you and your family have a nice time reconnecting.
Hmm.
And if you ever need a place to stay while you're in Kaimal, you can always come here.
I hope to see you again.
I hope to see you again as well. So, for sake of ease and for the fact that the stream is longer than we anticipated,
You
um,
said we wouldn't make it to 9.
I didn't think we would. Uh, we'll say that you
You
guys.
underestimate me.
I do. Um, we'll say that you two spend about a week on the road because if you look on the map, Kaimal is here. Singorn is way down here.
Interesting.
It's about that far.
And then Amon is all the way over there, but
And
that somehow only took
Amon
us 4 days.
is here. Yeah. So Amon to Kaimal is here, but it's faster because you don't have to go through the woods.
Ah,
And also the elves kind of don't want people showing up.
fair
Um,
enough. I just would like to make a point that on the way I'm going to give him shit about calling me a friend from work. And I will, yeah.
Thea, my mother's already reading into things. I don't need her thinking that we're a couple. I thought it was the easiest thing to do
Oh,
to just say that they're a friend, we are work friends, and it would get her off of my back, and it would make her weird around you.
she
And
was never weird around me.
she's all.
You're the one
I
making it
know you
weird.
are lying. My mother is slightly weird.
Your mother's a sweetheart.
She is wonderful. I love her so much, but she reads into things.
I don't think she does.
And like I said, it's up to you. It's not up to her or me. So, ah. So you
Uh,
guys eventually make it to Singorn. Um, the walls are just massive to Singorn, and you see that like the pillars that are holding them up are ancient elven heroes made in sculpture. Um, you get to one of the main gates, and two guards stop you. Who who is here to enter the jewel that is Singorn? It's a jewel.
uh, I'm trying to remember what my last name is.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O.
Oh, I remember it. Okay. Uh, Fiala Quinrell,
Hmm. And who's this?
my associate, Rupert.
And you hear Rupert under his breath, oh, so work friends is wrong, but associate is perfectly okay. Whatever. Hmm.
He's a guard, not your mother.
Hmm. Are you here on personal or business matters?
Personal.
Hmm. Very well, but stay out of trouble. The two of you are allowed into the city. Um, it takes you. The city is massive. It is very, very big.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if there's like an actual like full-on map of Singorn because I want to show people. No,
Forget. Does it have like are the houses like I don't think they're like not like in trees, but like kind of built
it's like
into
built into a mountain.
I'm gonna say like I feel like I
Singorn is
remember like
surrounded by mountains. There's also the population is 37,000.
what is
There's not a map of Singorn. That's a
Springfield
bummer.
is bigger than that.
Oh yeah, by a lot. But this is
Like four
medieval.
times. Yeah, I guess that's true.
I think Amon's population is Whitestone's population is 4,200.
Oh damn.
It's more now where we are in the campaign, like where
Yeah.
our timeline is, because this book came out while campaign one was still going. Um,
Hmm.
so this is I'm assuming this is out of date of some of the
Right.
information. It takes you a little bit, but you eventually make it to the Quinrell residence. Um, you see some of the familiar servant staff. Oh, Daisy just woke up from her nap. Oh no. Did you just wake up from your nap? Sorry, I got
Oh,
distracted by the
just so
puppy.
cute.
She's very cute. Anyway, that's how we make views on Twitch. We get a puppy. Um, but you eventually find it, and a few of the servants are there. One of them is a human man, probably in his like, probably 50s, kind of brownish tan skin, salt and pepper hair, um, and he comes over to you, Lady Thea. This is Gustava. Um,
Uh-huh.
some people call him Gus. Um, but he has been here. He started here when he was in his 20s, and like you've seen him like it's been like 30 years,
Hmm.
and like you technically have not been here since he has been here.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say, how does he know me? But I mean, of course he would know, but
yeah,
like,
there's family portraits, and he was notified when he's Gustava is the head of the household of the servants.
I guess.
Hmm. I don't know if we're on that level yet, but okay. You're.
Nice to see you.
It's nice to finally meet you in person, Lady Thea. Um, your father is currently out in Whitestone. They're having some large dedication of some sort, and he was asked to go as their dignitary. Um, but your
Dedication.
yes, there's some new transportation system he was mentioning. Um,
Huh. Okay.
but your lady mother is here, and as is your siblings.
My
Um,
lady mother.
yes. Would you like me to notify them that you're here?
Yes, please.
Of course. And who is the gentleman with you?
My friend Rupert.
Oh, uh, Rupert, it is a pleasure to meet you. It is also a pleasure to meet you, friend. Um, is there perhaps a place that I could stable the horses? And Gustava says, yes, I could take you there right away. And the two of them go off as you're kind of left alone on the grounds of your family's estate. It's not one of the largest ones. You know, your dad's an ambassador. He's not like upper government, but you know, it's still a mansion. Like it's still a manor with a courtyard and a fountain and like
Mhm.
the whole nine. Like it's just a nice place. It's got like 5 stories, multiple like up to 12 bedrooms, you know, the whole thing. It's like
12 bed, 15 bath,
yeah, exactly.
gym on site, pool.
Exactly. Tennis court, you know, all of it. Um, what do you want to do?
Do I customarily would I wait for him to come back before I walked in?
No, not necessarily. He was merely going to inform them that you were here. It wasn't like he was going to present you or anything.
Okay. I'm gonna walk in.
Okay. You go in, it's pretty quiet. Not a lot's going on. A few moments, you hear the sound of a baby crying off somewhere in the manor. Um,
I'm gonna kind of follow the sound. I'm
okay,
not necessarily gonna like barge in, but I just
yeah.
kind of wanna.
You follow the sound, and as you get closer, you hear the crying stop. Um, you turn the corner into where the crying was coming from, into this nursery, and you see your stepmother, Lunara, nursing the child, sitting next to his crib. Oh, hello.
I'll kind of. I was just gonna like knock on the side of the door.
Hel- Thea, what a wonderful surprise.
Hi.
Hi. Make sure you keep your voice down.
Uh, how are you?
Well, I'm okay. There's a few sleepless nights here and there, but overall, he's been very good. Um,
Mm.
and you know your father's not here right now.
Yes. Gustava told me.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. Call ahead.
he should be home in a few days. Um,
Okay.
they're having some sort of dedication in Whitestone. I don't really know, but I was unable to make the journey since um, we had a new arrival.
Yeah, I had my suspicions.
Do you want to meet him?
If that's okay.
Uh, he he no longer is nursing, and she covers herself and shows presents your new brother to you. Um, uh,
What's his name?
uh, Thea, I would like you to meet your brother Lunarin.
It's a wonderful name.
Thank you. Your father thought that it would be best to name him after his late sister. So,
It's like,
um,
I was not ready to.
uh,
Um, yeah,
well,
that's
I'm
nice.
gonna put him back down, and then I can have the other children come and say hi. They should be back from teaching by now.
Hmm.
Um,
I'm sorry for just showing up.
oh, dear, you're always welcome here. You know that.
Things have been a little much lately.
You can tell me all about it. It's about time you and I had a long discussion.
Mm.
Um, she brings you into the main hall, and as she's walking you through, you see a large painting um, in the main hall of the family. Um, and it looks like they're starting to add, like, it's outdated. Your youngest brother is not there now, and you're not there either. Um, but yeah, maybe they'll have to fix that. Um,
Hehe.
um, well, you actually come at a great time. The girls have been excelling in their studies, and Targarys is doing quite well in his martial training. There's going to be a demonstration for the children in about a week, and
Oh,
I'm sure they'll be ecstatic to see you there.
that's good. And Annie's doing well?
She's. She looks around for a second. She's been having um, slight problems. She's excelling in her studies and she's getting along with the other children, but she's been having nightmares recently, um, and to her, they seem all too real. Um,
Mhm.
I, I've had her go to see some of our clerics and things of that nature, but they believe that it's just a trauma that she faced years ago. Uh, she it's waning on her. But she is being taken care of and she is safe. And the society, uh, the higher society of the Elven court and everything is accepting her, which is quite rare.
Surprising.
Um, Times are changing, Thea. Um,
I'm glad.
the the council has begun to hear whispers of a possible calamity.
They're not just whispers.
Your father had a feeling that you knew something. Um,
I can tell you all about it if you'd like.
well, I think that's a little too much for me, but when your father gets home, I'm sure he would be happy to hear it. Any information that you could give him would be of great benefit to the world. Um, but
I know.
I want to caution you of one thing. Your
Hmm.
father, he knows that he was not the best to you. Just as I'm sure you know that you weren't the best to him. Um, he he wants to make any sort of reparations he can, um, and he hopes that you do too. He would also never
Partially.
say this to you.
Mm.
He's way too
Oh, I
he's
know.
way too proud. Um,
The last time I saw him, he, he barely spoke a word to me. So I understand.
Thea,
But
he is a man that is used to having all the words, and when he's around you, he has none. Be patient. I mean, we're elves. My grandmother and my mother held a grudge against each other for 300 years. It's not that big of a deal. 50 is
no.
nothing, honestly.
Part of the reason I came back.
Well, I'm glad you're home.
Thank you.
All right, shall we go find the kids? She leads you into the back courtyard where it's more enclosed and kind of more of a private space. And you see a large fountain. Very familiar. You've fallen into that fountain many times. Um, and you see uh, Meryl and Annie kind of practicing magic. And you see off in the corner, you see Targaryen Jr. Um, kind of battling against a scarecrow fighter, like he's just training. Children, I believe there's someone here that you might want to see. And then they all look up and they see you, and you see them all just immediately run over to you and they hug you. And
I'll like squat down and
Um, you see Meryl, who she has like scarring around her eyes. And you see like behind the cornea and the pupil, um, you see like what looks like starlight glimmering in her eyes. Um, it's a really weird kind of trippy effect. Um, but she's, why didn't you say you were coming?
I didn't know I was. Well, that's a lie, but I was a little busy.
Oh, okay. Well, we can find out later. Do you want to come see what we can do? We've been
Yeah,
practicing. You
yeah.
see Annie kind of sheepishly is like, uh, and then Targaryen Jr. says, "Well, if you guys are gonna show her stuff, then I want to show her stuff too. I've been working hard too."
Is he using like a little like wooden
Little wooden
sword?
sword.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not
I was
gonna
gonna
give him
say,
a real sword yet. He's like 9 years old.
fair enough.
So they spend the afternoon showing you all the wonderful magic. They can only do level 1 spells. There's nothing
That's so
super
cute though.
exciting, and Targaryen is showing you some of the maneuvers that he's learned, and he
If there's
messes.
like an extra wooden sword, I want to like pick it up and be like, okay, time to test your skills.
Okay. What's your armor class?
Oh god, it's like I'm gonna take off my cloak just to
Make it a
make it
little
easier.
easier on him. Yeah.
But it's 18.
Yeah, he
But I'm
does
gonna
not.
pretend I'm gonna pretend it's like a 10.
Okay, yeah, he still doesn't hit you. I rolled a 4. So the two of you spar, and you maybe take it a little too hard on him, but it seems like he enjoys it.
Yeah.
Um, and then as you are kind of playing with the kids, you see Rupert is now in the courtyard with you guys. He's got his cloak back on, and you see him talking to your stepmother. And things seem pretty nice. It's weird. This is like very you've had a lot of good family experience in the last like 2 weeks.
Healing a lot of trauma.
Yeah,
Healing 100 years of trauma.
yeah. Um, so the next day comes around. You've been given a room. Rupert's been given a room.
I
Um,
didn't already have a room.
well, no, like you had your room, but like anyway.
Yeah.
Um, so around noon, um, Lunara receives a message. Um, and she asks you and Rupert to come into your father's study. She shuts the door as you two come in. Um, your father has messaged me. There has been an attack in Whitestone. The dedication was sabotaged, and there are um, hundreds of casualties. He is currently helping with the recovery and cleanup. And apparently your friends are there too. Um, he has told me that we don't need to worry, that he's fine, and that um, he'll be home a little bit later than scheduled, but he should be here for the children's demonstrations. Um, I just wanted to let you know before you heard it from anyone else. Um, but yeah, that's almost all I know. Um, he also wanted. I informed him that you were here, and he was a little nervous. Um, but he says that he looks forward to speaking to you in the coming days. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Not again. Who's trying to watch me? Um,
Private Eyes, and that's all we can do with
18.
that song. Um, Also, guys, sorry, real quick, sorry if this has been like real quiet and it's just the two of us talking, but I kind of like it. I feel like
I'm
it's fun.
having a great time. This is
Um,
so fun. It's
uh,
just because it's all about me.
at least you're honest. Um,
I very self-centered.
you feel the scrying again.
Does it feel any different from the last
No, it
time?
feels the same.
I don't know who it would be. And I imagine if my friends are in trouble, they're not going to worry about scrying on me right now. Unless it's my dad and he knows I'm safe here, I'm just going to shut that shit down.
Okay.
I don't trust that.
Okay. Um.
I would, however, like to scry on my friends,
Okay.
if that's possible.
Yeah. You have the ability, right? You have that item.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
You have
think
an
so. I
item,
think I
right?
went and bought a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
You
Um.
can use really just about any. I would imagine
Yeah.
I could find any old mirror here and use
Yeah.
it.
So you do. And you see Anzu and Animus and a woman that you've never seen before. Um. And then you also see a man that you haven't seen before, and then you see Mathis and you see your father, and they're all kind of meeting together and discussing what they should do. But the city is leveled, like probably a fourth of it is completely gone. Um, you also see that the the city is kind of more modern than you remember it. Like modern is in like what we would consider modern. So like
Right.
steampunky. Um, but they seem to be fine.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
So for sake of ease and for time, the next few days pass pretty normally. Um, you get a message from Anzu about Richter. Um, but
I don't
thing,
remember what
yeah,
I was gonna say I don't remember what I said to him, but it was along the lines of I'll figure it out.
yeah, but things are very quiet here and very just calm. It's a feeling of calm that you haven't had in a while. Um, you see Rupert has
Mhm.
been acclimated. He's been studying a lot, trying to just kind of get familiar with the culture and um, just a little bit more um, accustomed to things.
Mhm.
But after about 4 days, there's a large sound at the door to the manor, and then Gustava comes in. And he says, "The lord of the house has returned." And then you see Targaryen come in, very prim and proper, um, with multiple bags that Gustava immediately takes from him, and you see you're at the top of this large like banister, um, and you see your stepmother and then the kids kind of all crowd around, um, and you hear your father say, "Where's Thea?" And your
Um,
stepmother,
I'll scooch around, start coming down the stairs.
"Oh, everyone, I'm more than happy to see all of you, and um, I want us to all catch up. And I know that Targarys's demonstration, as well as the girls' demonstration, is in a few hours. But I believe Thea and I have things to discuss. Um, Thea,
I'll
would you
like kind of
please?"
ruffle like Targaryen Jr.'s hair.
He's like, "Stop! It took Mom hours."
I'll fix it.
um, Targaryen motions. Thea, would you please join me in the study?
Mhm.
So you two go in, and he sits down in his chair, and he kind of, hmm, sometimes these chairs just don't feel right when you sit in them. Um, Thea, I know that you know, um, that a catastrophe has happened in Whitestone.
Yes. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I can take, I might be. your old, decrepit father, but I can take care of myself. But thank you for showing concern. Um, I was quite surprised that you weren't with them, and I spoke to your uncle, and he said that you were going through something. Um, when Lunara informed me that you were here, I was honestly surprised. I thought that if you were going through something, I would want to be, you would not want to see me. Um, but I'm glad you're here, and I want you to know that you can stay here for another day, another year, another 100. You can be here for the rest of your life if you wish. I doubt that's what you want, but you can stay here as long as you want. And so can your friend, even though I'm a little. Hmm,
He's nice.
okay, if you trust him, then I will verify that trust.
Anything you want to know about him, I'll tell you.
I don't want to know much. I
Ah,
just want to know that he won't hurt any of you.
he won't.
Thea, I want you to let me know what you know about the five. Your uncle was in quite a hurry, um, so he was unable to share everything with me, as he often is. Um,
I mean, there is so much as I pull out my notes.
we're having a council meeting in a few days, and I would like you to come to explain everything to the council. Um,
I can do that. Learned part of the reason I came home is just because of the barrage of information that I've received in the last month, on top of just adventuring. It's hard. I'm
that's
sure
why
you.
most people don't do it. Only the
And
brave and courageous can.
frankly, the group I'm with sometimes just
Uh,
as you know.
Thea, there are many, many people that are in the government of Singorn that I cannot stand, but I have to work with them because that is what we must do to preserve our safety.
Yes. And
Times are
I'll go
getting
back.
very dark. They're speaking of a second calamity.
There will be.
Not if we stop them. I also know that from your Kinku friend that he believes that Annie is a target of these people. Is this true?
Yes.
Well, then that leaves me no choice. I must, in order to ensure the safety of my family, keep Annie confined to the house.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
That's
going to run her out, Thea.
it's like she's a child.
She is, and that is why we must protect her. I'm going to also have some guard on her at all times. Um, it's going to be hard for her, but I've already made arrangements um, with the school to keep her learning, albeit from home. Um, but I
I
fear that if she is with the children, that they will be a target as well. So I am requesting that you take care of the children and be with them as often as possible.
can do that while I'm here.
Thank you.
Uh, one thing that I do you know who is part of the five? Do you have any of that
Vaguely.
information?
Anzu was very brief, but I know that there's a strange person who wears strange masks and has an even stranger sword, and I know of a dragon and a beholder, and I think
The dragon.
you killed the
I
vampire one, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Nice job on that, by the way.
Thank you. I got the final blow. It was very
Oh,
satisfying.
well, that's just what we do in this family.
But the dragon.
Hmm.
Her name is Shavira. She's an
Mm,
ancient green dragon.
mm,
And something I
nasty.
found out recently is that she used to be in an adventuring party with my mother. Did you know that?
You see Targaryen, he hasn't shaved in a few days, so you see like light stubble is kind of like a 5 o'clock shadow kind of forming on his face. He starts to kind of fidget with it a little. I was unaware of most of your mother's adventuring days when our relationship started. Um, but
Seemed like she was on the tail end of it when she met you.
yes, I have not met this dragon you speak of.
She's terrifying.
Well,
Um,
she has to be in order to live as long as she has. No, your mother did not mention her. Your mother also, she didn't like speaking of her past. Um, she said that there were things that she just couldn't bear to think about anymore. And it seems as though you're going through some of that now. Um, I
I've
do
just
not,
learned a lot about her
I
in the
know.
last month.
Well, I'm sure you know more than I do now. Um, I do not pretend to know what you have been through, Thea, but I do know that if you need someone to speak with, I am here. Um, I am busy, more busy than I was when you were younger, but I want to try and do better. I want to try and make things right. Um, it's what your mother would have wanted, and it's what I want. Um, if you need anything, let me know, and I will try everything within my power to get it for you.
Sorry for how much of an ass I used to be.
Uh, it's funny. Your aunt would always say that the reason you behaved that way is because you had so much potential that it had to leak out somewhere.
I'm glad she saw it that way.
She always saw the
Um,
best in people, no matter who and no matter what they did.
yes. Um, and I'll start relaying to him all the information I
Yeah, it
have
takes you
about,
like 2 hours. It's a lot.
yeah.
You see him take
Obviously,
notes.
there's things I don't know, but
Yeah.
um, trying to think. I'm also going to casually slip in that I have a twin brother who's a demigod just to like throw him
You see,
off.
as he's writing, I'm. We will talk about that later. Um, what the? Okay, continue.
I had the same reaction. I'm going to tell him everything I've learned about the black spore that killed her. Everything I
He
learned.
stops you for a second when you get onto that. That is very distressing. If that were to get into Singorn, that could wipe us all out. I'm I know that we have the council meeting in a few days, but I am going to inform them of this urgently. I just want you to know. Do you have any samples on you that we could use?
I feel like I do, but I don't have it written down, I don't think. But also, I found out that I am a carrier.
Well, you've been around us enough that you would have given it to us if we would have gotten it, so
So if they need a sample of my blood or something,
I'll
that's
talk.
always an option.
I'll let you know.
I'm trying to see what do I have. Um, without my old spell sheet, I don't think or my old sheet, I don't know if I know what I have anymore. Um, no. But after we killed the vampire, I think, was it Matilda? Is that her name?
Hmm.
things became a bit much, and I felt a distance between my group that I haven't felt so strongly before. And after learning all of this and being inundated with all of this information, I knew I would regret it if I didn't come home.
Well, we're glad to have you here. Um, if you, as I said, if you need anything, let me know. Um, and I hope that you come to the demonstration for the children.
I've been helping them prepare, of course I am.
Slotting into the big sister role already. Um, Thank you, Thea, for letting me know. And once again, I'm sorry for what I may have done or caused you. Um, I'm going
I
to
mean,
try to do better.
you did the best you could.
I wish that were true. But let's go.
That stung a little bit. When
I
he stands up, I want to just go for it and just give him a hug.
He like rubs your hair a little bit and kind of comforts you a little.
You can do
Um,
better.
I I don't know if you should be hugging me. I have a lot of like blood and other things. It's probably getting
Yeah.
in your hair.
You underestimate how gross I've been at points in my life.
You guys hold the hug for a little bit, and as you guys let go, you see him kind of wipe his face a little bit. Well, I need to bathe and get ready for the demonstration. I would
Yeah.
suggest you do the same, dear. Your hair smells just not. It's just I don't know if it's a conditioner or what, but it's not.
All right.
Uh, so the demonstration happens. It's very similar to what you saw before, but you've helped them refine a little bit, and you helped Meryl with her prestidigitation and Annie with her minor illusions and everything, and you've kind of helped them with that. And uh, Targarys Targarys Jr. kind of astounds the crowd because he takes a stance that is not a normal stance for an elven fighter, and it's a little bit more roguish in its execution. Um, and you hear a few of the people. Well, isn't that a little bit just? There are traditions and there's reasons, and you hear just like chatter through the crowd. Um, and then Targarys, you're sitting on his left, and then Lunara is sitting on his right. And he turns to you. Don't listen to them. They just
I
don't
never,
understand how cool it is.
I never have.
Um, so that will be where we will end tonight's session.
Cub.
With Thea
Right.
caught up to the events of it. So like the team just killed the beholder while you are watching your siblings like demonstrate their prowess, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I want to thank everybody so much for watching. For those of you who watched just two people do silly voices for almost 3 hours, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We will be back to the full team on Sunday, where it'll
Mm-hmm.
probably be the last episode with Genevieve for a while.
Yeah.
And then we'll be moving into our next story arc with Thea in Singorn.
Exciting stuff.
So thank you all so much for watching, and we hope to see you on Sunday.